Welcome to the Genealogy Happy Hour, a place where new family historians can learn to document their family histories and celebrate their new discoveries. I'm Amy.
And I'm Penny, and we're here to help you discover your family tree from the beginning.
Welcome to episode 113.
Amy, today we are talking about a really fun way to do some research that you might not have thought of before, and we found some interesting things.
We did.
Yes. So this is using eBay and Facebook Marketplace and places like that where you can purchase memorabilia online. And just the stuff that's out there can really lead you, on a great chase through history.
It's a great way to make your research fuller, to bring some more visuals in, perhaps into your research, and maybe if you're lucky, even find some communication from ancestors and relatives. So,
yes. But as I was saying,
yes.
First, as always, what's your wine selection for this episode, Amy?
So I have been experimenting with some Burgundies this late summer, early fall, and I ran across one at Total Wine. It is a Chablis from Burgundy. It is medium-bodied from Domaine Chantelaine, and it is just a Chablis. So I think they would refer to this as a village Chablis. But it's got what I love, which is the apple and the mineral and the crispness. And it was just absolutely delicious. And I can't wait to go back and get some more.
That sounds good.
But you also had some interesting wine, too, this week.
I am going to throw in another wine. Oh, this is like a 2-for-1 this episode. So we were just up in Pittsburgh for my son and daughter-in-law's baby shower. And we got to experience this delicious wine, thanks to her parents, from Darouche, and that's Darioush. And it was the white selection. And I was told that it was a Chardonnay, and I was like, I don't really like Chardonnay. It's usually too oaky. And I was like, no, this is great. It's really good stuff. So I, had some. It was amazing. It was delicious. And I took a picture of it. Didn't even look at the bottle. I just took a picture of it to remind myself later. Just now, talking to you, when I pulled the picture up, I'm like, it's not a Chardonnay, it's a Viognier. Of course I loved it.
Of course you loved it, exactly.
It's not inexpensive though. It's quite a bit, and it was really good. So it's on my list for if I ever want to splurge. I will definitely get a bottle of this.
Nice.
Yeah.
For special occasions.
So, yes.
Got it.
And before we get into our really fun episode this time, I think here's a word from our sponsor.
What if you could walk the same streets, read the same headlines, and witness the world just as your ancestors did? With newspapers.com, you can step back in time and see history through their eyes. Explore 1 billion pages of historical newspapers from 1690 to 2025 across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and more. A quick search can uncover birth announcements, wedding stories, obituaries, and countless everyday moments that bring your family's past to life. But this isn't just about discovering dates and names, it's about feeling connected. Maybe you'll stumble upon a front page story of your grandfather that your grandfather read, or a long-lost article featuring your great-aunt's bakery. These aren't just headlines, these are pieces of your heritage. Your family story is waiting in the archives. Start uncovering it today at newspapers.com. Use promo code HAPPYHOUR at checkout for 20% off your subscription. Because your past isn't gone, it's just waiting to be rediscovered. All right, thank you, newspapers.com, for sponsoring this episode. So we're talking about finding genealogical treasures on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. These are ways that you can possibly enhance your research, find things that you're not going to find in repositories or online through your genealogical software and searches. But Penny and I found some very interesting things that have to do with our families very quickly on eBay, and I think it's really worth maybe giving you guys some ideas on how you could use it as well.
Yeah, so my first, just doing a general search, I just picked, and locations are usually the best thing to start with, like the locations that your ancestors live with, see what was happening in that town. Maybe put in some years, like you don't want anything that's super, or you might want something recent, but, I wanted something earlier. And, so I put in Deschler, Ohio, because it was just there, but I wanted to see what might be up online for that. And I put in like 1880 to 1920, and a lot of postcards came up, a lot of postcards for the Deschler Hotel, which is in Columbus, Ohio, and that is not anything that I want. But I did get a postcard that is, and the first thing, it's a picture of these people. The street is clearly flooded. People are in a boat. People are waiting in line to possibly get in a boat if another one comes by, because this is just a tiny rowboat. But it says, and I can't read the whole thing, but the end of it says Kaiser Avenue South, and I'm like, I have an ancestor who lived on Kaiser Avenue. And handwriting across the bottom of the postcard said Deschler, Ohio, March 1913. I was like, what is happening in 1913? My family lived there in those years. So I was able, from this postcard, to do a lot of research on this great flood that happened in 1913 that clearly affected my family in this little town. So that was kind of fun. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about this flood. I still don't know if it actually affected the people, the ancestors in my family, but I'm going to assume it did, because this is the street they lived on. Right.
So now you can go to newspapers.com and look up, what was going on during that month.
All the stories.
Yes, exactly. Well, like you, I found a postcard. My second great grandfather lived in Monroeville, Indiana, and I had known from my relatives that he had been the general contractor on the IOOF building that was constructed there. And I found a postcard of that building, actually numerous postcards of that building from that time period. So I do have some documents from the actual building and with his signature on them, but I did not have, and I have an image of the building as it was when I visited, 25, 30 years ago, but I don't have a picture of it when it was actually built. So now that little postcard, I can get that, and I'll have an image of exactly what it looked like when it was built.
Very cool. Very cool. And these are things that we found just like with a basic, like I did just a location search. Like I said,
correct. It's the location search. It's not, you're not going to put your people's name in there, because even if you do, I found looking at the postcards that the postcards are listed for sale by the location. So the city, the state, not by who they're from, the correspondent. So you have to look at, if I wanted to put in Monroeville postcards, I'd have to go through every single one of those and look to see who the to and the from is, if it was actually mailed. But they don't have the actual names of the people who were sending them. But there's many out there.
You can be a little more specific if you do want to research for a specific ancestor's name, or at least a family name. If you're looking for a Bible that's out there, maybe. Yes. You would put in Burke Family Bible, and you might get a bunch of things. Are they your Burke family? That's when you have to drill down and message the seller and whatnot. But yeah, there are ways to do specific things, not only Bibles, but yearbooks, and yes, a lot of yearbooks are already digitized, but some are not. Family letters, somebody might be posting letters that they have, maps, things from churches. There's a lot of stuff out there. And one thing I did was, if y'all remember, just being up in Deschler, one of the things I was looking at is this Ross Hotel that my ancestor supposedly was the proprietor of at some point in his life. I have not found firm documentation on that, but in putting just Ross Hotel into eBay and Facebook Marketplace, I came up with a business card for the Ross Hotel. This had a picture of a pig, a sow, with 7 piglets suckling at her, and it says across her belly, warm meals at all hours. And on the back of the card, it's the Ross House Hotel, with the name of the proprietor, not my ancestor, but another name. So some more additional information. So I took that and I went on to the newspapers, and I found a very interesting article, because I used the name of the proprietor, which was E.J.B. Richter. And it came up, and I put E.J.B. Richter and Ross House, and it came up, landlord E.J.B. Richter of the Ross House, the Depot Hotel at Deschler, who is somewhat of an artist and painter, has for some time attracted considerable attention to his splendid hotel and restaurant by adopting as a sign and sort of trademark on his business cards a sow and pigs, the little porkers in the act of satisfying their hunger in the manner provided by nature for infants. That is like the longest sentence, right? Okay, it goes on. The picture is labeled warm meals at all hours, and the service at the Ross House is just that frequent. But the editor of the Holgate Review has recently taken exception to the illustrated advertisement arranged by landlord Richter and demands of Mayor Smith of Deschler, who is also editor of the Deschler Flag, that it be suppressed in the interest of public morals. Richter laughs at the Holgate writer's prudish freak and says he will soon show the latter a new idea in painter's illustration that will jar him for sure. Richter is an inventive genius and will keep his word. What did he come up with next? I don't know.
So you found this whole little local fight going on just by looking at that, finding that business card.
Yes.
And
now, weirdly, of course, my ancestor still has not anything to do with this. This is before his time at the hotel. But this is part of the history of this hotel.
Right.
Bought or worked at. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, see, I mean, you've broadened the story of your family during that time period, or just before that time period, and definitely their property for sure.
Yes.
Some other things that you can find on eBay are diaries and ledgers. I found there's a ledger from, I think, the 1880s from Centerville, Michigan, where my great grandfather lived. So I was wondering, wow, maybe my ancestors' purchases could be listed in that ledger book from the local merchant there in town. So those are things to think about when you're looking for items from the location where your ancestors were from. Another thing that I saw on there was old maps. Some of them are original, but there's also people selling reproductions. But they're selling them of, like, say the township, and then on the township map it shows where everybody lived, the names of the people on the map during that year. And that would be particularly helpful for you, especially if you have a brick wall, or you have many people from your family who are living in that community, that might be something that you would want to add to your genealogical collection.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. I just found so many fun things. I just want to
What else did you find?
I can't wait to tell you this one. Well, anyway, I found an envelope for sale on eBay from the Ross House, and it has their logo and the upper hand corner with EJB Richter, proprietor, Deschler, Ohio, and it was written to going to Mrs. C.W. Sloan, I think, in Bellevue, Ohio. And the reason that attracted my attention is that Bellevue, Ohio is where my grandparents moved to from Deschler. They moved to Bellevue, Ohio. And I was like, oh,
right.
This is wild. Did they know this person? I really want to do a little more research onto who C.W. Sloan was. But I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but it's still fascinating what you can find. And the other thing, I'm just going to step away from our eBay and Facebook for a quick second and go back to newspapers, because when I had found that other newspaper article that I read you just a little bit before, there was one other advertisement that came up that I probably wouldn't have known before if I hadn't been looking under that Richter name and everything. But this ad is just interesting, I guess. It says, female complaints, a specialty, cured without local treatment. All consultations strictly private and confidential. Where it is non-convenient to see the doctor at his appointed place, send your name, lock of hair, and age with 2-cent postage stamp to pay for return postage, and it will be promptly answered. Address for J.A. Andrews, M.D., Wauseon, Fulton County, Ohio, Box 11. And then it lists 5 hotels, the Ross House being one of them in Deschler Ross House. May 29th is when this doctor will be there. If any female needed to see a doctor about female problems, otherwise they could mail in their lock of hair.
What?
And I'm like, what is happening?
What is happening?
What is happening at this hotel?
But this was before your family owned the hotel, correct?
This is before, right. This is in the 1800s. I know. So I had to, of course, look up this doctor and...
It sent you down a rabbit hole.
Right? Nothing to do with my family, but just still fascinating. Anyway, he ran a traveling clinic-style
clearly
treatment for female complaints, often adding cured without local treatment. And the only thing else I found on him was his obituary, and it says Dr. J.H. Andrews, the white Indian, once resident of Wauseon and well-known here, died in his home in Toledo. So, I mean, I'm not going to do too much digging on this guy, but I just thought that was fascinating. Like, what kind of things are happening at this hotel?
Right.
And my ancestor decided this was a great place to work. And
I just can't imagine clandestinely meeting a doctor in a hotel. I don't know. Sending them a lock of hair. I don't know.
Right? What's happening?
What is happening? What is happening? There's a lot going on then.
All right. Okay. So that's the end of my story. So let's get back to if you're looking for something on eBay or Facebook. Obviously, you have to have an eBay, especially if you're going to buy something. You have to have an eBay account,
right?
And on Facebook Marketplace, you have a Facebook account. And the best thing to do is, I think it's always worth it if you find something you like. I mean, if the price is right and you just want to buy it and order it, go for it. But you could always message the seller and be like, do you have anything else in this, that has to do with the Ross house or whatever it is you're looking at has to do with Deschler, or if they had a Bible or a diary or something. Do you have anything else that's from this family line?
Right. Or who did you get it from? Who was your contact? Where did you get that? Because maybe they are a family member or, a distant relative, and maybe they'd be willing to pass along your contact details to them to get in touch, because the person they got it from may have more information too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't even want to, let's say there is a Bible or something, and maybe you don't really need the Bible, but you might reach out to the seller and just ask, like, hey, can you tell me if there's anything written in the Bible anywhere? Because so sometimes in the old Bible they have the middle section where they'll have a family history. Like, is there something in there? Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what that is? That might make you want to purchase it, or it might be like, no, that's not anything I need, rather than buying it and then finding out that might not have been a good use of your money and your time.
Right.
You can also negotiate your price with somebody. If you reach out, you could ask for more photos, and also discuss shipping options if that's something that you want to buy. One thing I would encourage everybody to do is, if you're looking for something, like I have several things saved on eBay. Save your searches. So I'm looking for Deschler, Ohio. I'm going to save that search.
That's a good point.
And then as things come up, I'll get notified. Oh, this has been up and it's listed as Deschler, Ohio. Or if I'm saving something about like a Burke Bible or something, that might pop up and I'll get notified. So be sure and save your searches so you don't have to go back in every time and try to find something. I think that's very important.
That's a good idea. I know probably 15 years ago, before there was so much out there on the internet digitized, and there probably still are, lots of CDs on eBay, collections of, let's say, county histories, county records that have been put on CD, burned to CD. So those are something that, if you're really interested in an area, peruse those, but, just be really, do it very cautiously, because there could be that information could now be on online through Ancestry or Family Search, or even the local library where those things came from. But for $10 or whatever they're selling the CD for, you could get a lot of information that could be helpful at the same time too.
That's true.
I don't know if they have I don't even know if I have a DVD or a CD player anymore to go to my computer, but but
maybe.
The other thing is,
that's an option.
If you do find a book like, a county history or a family compiled genealogy, go to Google Books and just double check to make sure that it's not out there, and possibly you can download it for free on Google Books before you make a purchase.
Yes, 100%. I just did that too, because there was one on Deschler. This book is out there. I think the cheapest is $49.99. It goes all the way up to like $150. Several people have this book out there, but it is not on Google Books.
Right. Yeah.
But
just check it. Or Amazon too. Like, sometimes you can get digitized on Amazon as well. But check those out.
Or
but then,
Yeah, or Abe Books, I think, also will have some.
Correct. That's a good one too, right? Well. But especially if you have, if you're doing a lot of research in one county or one town, it might make sense for you to go ahead and invest in the book so that you can really reference it, because oftentimes we have to come back, and once we get more new information, we got to go back and look and like, oh, now I know that person is, I'm related to that person, so now I need to go back and look again. So it could be a good investment for you.
Yeah. And remember, when you're looking on Facebook Marketplace, be sure to change the parameters to like the town or area you're looking for location. Like when I was looking for, obviously, Deschler, Ohio stuff, I'm not going to be looking in Tampa, Florida for Deschler, Ohio stuff. I need to change my location to like 20 miles around Deschler and see who's selling what in that area.
Oh, good. That's a good tip. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably where, you might find something more likely than where you are. Just make sure to change those parameters.
Right.
Yeah. And like we said, it's not just finding something specifically about your ancestor, but it might be finding something that can lead to something else. Like if there is a family Bible, what about an old deed or a will? Somebody might put up a certificate or, something about estate sales or
I found
something.
there was a whole bunch of teaching certificate from the 1880s. There's a whole bunch of teaching certificates from, I don't remember where, Fulton County, Atlanta, I'm not sure. But, so yes, definitely look for those types of things as well.
Yeah, it's amazing because something can lead you to something else, and there can always be a link that'll make that connection, and you'll be like, aha, that I can go on to my research in this direction because now I have this information from this random item somebody put up on eBay or whatever online sales thing that you're putting stuff up there on.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Amazing. I would say just a few cautions are beware of overpriced items.
Yes.
Definitely compare values, reach out, maybe try to negotiate a price, watch out for reproductions versus originals, set your budget, and verify with sellers their ratings, especially on eBay.
Correct. Yes. And people who are just starting out on eBay, they're, you got to be really careful. So, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And if you do find anything fun, let us know. We would love to hear what you found.
Yes.
Doing
absolutely.
these searches.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, happy shopping. Hopefully you'll have some things that you can think about. Maybe get on eBay or get online and see if you can find any genealogical or ancestor treasures for sale.
Yeah. Until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening. Please email us with any questions or comments at genealogyhappyhour@gmail.com.
Visit our website, www.genealogyhappyhour.com, for additional resources, books, and wines. Don't forget to drink responsibly
and never drink around genealogical documents.